everybody, and welcome to our first edition of Backstage with me. Every couple of weeks, we're going to be coming to you via video. We're going to be bringing you stars that are coming up in shows, stars that have been in shows, look behind the scenes, and all that kind of stuff. But today, with me, I have two of the most incomparable performers that you will ever stumble over.
They say incompetent?
Incomparable.
Where?
Ian Bell and Dan Needles. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you. It's great to see you.
Great to be back.
It's good to be here.
Nice to have you here for more confessions from the 9th concession, running from March 22nd to April the 10th, I think, unless audiences demand that you leave earlier or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be a great hit. We're so looking forward to you. Welcome back, gents. It's been a while since we had you here with confessions.
Years. It's been a couple of years since we've been anywhere.
Absolutely. So listen, it's, as I say, it's thrilling to have you here. You know, you bring such heart and laughter and joy in music and great storytelling, which is what we're all about. And I don't think two guys in the country that do it better than you guys. So thank you for that. I've had a couple of questions that the audience at home have called in with a couple of questions. And so I thought I might ask you them, if that's okay. Ian, what was it really like to be on the Vinyl Cafe?
It was fun. I was an off and on music director and sometimes writer, not for the story bits, but for a lot of the in-between stuff. And it was always fast. It was one of those things that came together really fast at the end after a lot of sort of planning on one's own, rehearsing the orchestras, and then we'd all get together in a place like this, or.
You did it here. It was.
I guess,
Stuart was here.
Not me, but
Stuart was here once, way back. Yeah.
And we used to we used to do just one show. We'd take 2 hours and put one show together, and then it became so popular, and they realized that cost too much money, so we started doing 2 shows in one afternoon. And,
right on.
And it was fun. It was fascinating watching him work. He worked very much from a script that a lot of it would sound very off the cuff. But if you looked over his shoulder, you'd sometimes see written in.
Oh my goodness! I think. Well, I know Dan does that.
He was a lot of fun to hang out with and to work with, and it was a great experience for me and the people I play with. Coming up with ideas that would tie a whole show together, musically and with the stories he was going to tell.
Did you work with Reed Jameson?
No,
work on that? Guitarist?
No, I didn't work on any of those shows.
Right on, because Stuart was here once. It's got to be 20 years ago, easily, was the last time. And of course, was always such a huge hit with our audiences because great storytelling is what we're all about. And speaking of great storytelling, Dan Needles, why on earth would you ever think to dump a pail of water from a second-story window onto the head of an unsuspecting Jackie who was sitting underneath it?
Oh, you've been talking to Rod Beatty.
I've been talking to Rod Beatty, and it was this morning.
When we were in the south of France.
When we were in the south of France, picking pears, I understand, Dan.
With Monsieur Pilat, a jolly, rotund fellow.
I heard some real, I'm shocked, actually, Dan, at some of the stories that Rod shared.
Yes, we called that Chinese water torture a la Canadienne. Now, we played jokes on each other, a lot of practical jokes, and the other pear pickers were 2 university students from the Sorbonne.
Oh.
And so part of the routine was we dumped a pail of water on them from upstairs.
Yes, well, now what I heard was you, like Rod has washed his hands of the whole thing. He said it was quite you
who
came
idea,
up.
yeah.
Oh yes, apparently, and who poured this bucket of water on this poor unsuspecting Frenchman 2 stories down below. It's a shocking thing. Yeah. Very funny though, I love it. Is it also true, Dan, someone was wanting to know, actually it was Paula Stewart, who asked, where did you come by your impeccable Australian accent?
Oh, I don't know if it's impeccable, but I did spend a year in Australia when I was a kid, when I was 18.
Learning the farming trade or just gadding about?
Well, my dad was doing a show on Broadway with Alec McCowan called Hadrian the Seventh, and Barry Morse had taken over the part in Sydney, Australia. And Barry Morse was a good friend of my dad, and he said, why don't, when he heard that I was coming to Australia, he said, well, you'll come and stay with us. So I stayed in Barry Morse's house in Sydney, which had about 12 unemployed actors in it. And I was sleeping under the stairs somewhere, and I thought, well, I got to go and I got to see the country. I got to get out of here. And the first job I got was on a dairy farm. And I invented the job of relief milker for dairy farmers. When they needed a holiday, I would show up, give them a couple of weeks off, and milk the cows for them. And I did that all over Australia for a year.
There you are. Yeah. The interim dairy guy?
Yeah, I just walk up the lane.
They still miss him.
They still do. They still talk about him in Australia.
They still call me, are you still doing that?
Oi, mate, come on, come on over. Milk the cows.
A lot of knocking about in Australia. I cut sugar cane for a morning.
Lasted all of one morning, did you?
Well, there was the ground was covered with ashes, and I thought, has there been a fire here? And the guy who was the head of the crew said, oh, yeah, you got to burn the cane to get rid of the snakes. I said, oh, and I'm hacking away at the sugar cane, and he says, and I said, that works, does it? It gets rid of the snakes? He said, oh, yeah, you do see the odd one. And after that, I just couldn't stick my head into the canopy anymore. And he said, you don't have any poisonous snakes in Canada? I said, well, we have one. It's a rattlesnake. And he said, really? So he said, you hear that? They have one poisonous snake in Canada, and it rattles.
Just to let you know it's coming.
And they all burst out laughing.
Okay, so let's talk about
Let's talk about the show.
Let's talk about the show. So that old thing. So what can we expect? What can an audience expect from this show?
Well, the last show was about the old rural community.
Right.
It was a walk down the seventh line of olden days. And this year, we're doing a look at the present day. And we've noticed how many people have come out of the city over the last 2 years during the pandemic to move into our lovely community. And we're looking at saying, well, they really should have a quick refresher course on how things work in the countryside. And we thought, well, we could do that. We put together a book called A Guide to Rural Living. And we're going to, it's like a book event here without the book, because this is just what the book is going to look like. And we're going to give you chapter and verse, all sorts of advice about living in the country. So that would be everything from naming the farm to tips on safety and plumbing and this guy here does the color commentary.
Yeah, I'm sort of the Howard Cosell of the event.
Oh, I see. Okay,
He
great.
breaks into song whenever people have tired of my.
Whatever the stories just get to.
Yeah, that's right.
Whenever you hear,
Ian sings.
Dun, 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 yeah.
whenever you hear the heads hitting the desk.
So, of course, it's all original music, of course, Ian. This is all your music.
Wrote it all.
Yeah. It's yes, it is. So a couple that I had around that seemed to fit in, and but mostly written for the show.
Beautiful.
Because there wasn't stuff that just like already went along with needed stuff. You got to do what you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to try and keep up.
But it was fun, and it's sort of everything stylistically it runs the gamut from sort of bluegrass to Gilbert and Sullivan and.
Yeah, he's got a patter song.
Every show needs a patter
The
song.
Lord High Executioner sort of thing.
The modern Major General, is that good? We've got a lot to look forward to. Gentlemen, thank you so much for this. Thank you. Audiences are going to love you as always. And it's a thrill to have you back.
It's great to be here.
Good to be here.
Thanks. See you soon.
Hey everyone, it's Dan. Just reminding you to head over to our new online platform, StageTOScreen. If you go over to StageTOScreen.theaterorangeville.ca, you can check out a whole catalog of the shows we've created over the last 2 years. You can access these shows anytime from anywhere. And starting soon, we'll be live streaming the shows, so you can watch them as they happen from the comfort of your home. We've made some serious upgrades at the Opera House, and we're ready to bring you more great theater online. In our downstairs office, we've installed a video switcher, camera controller, and a streaming device, along with a computer to help display the pre-recorded content. We're sending sound down to the video mixer from our sound console upstairs, and also being sent down is 3 video signals from our 3 PTZ optic cameras. It's all happening really soon, so head over to StageTOScreen.theaterorangeville.ca.